Before his departure in 2007, Rob Van Dam had an extremely decorated career in WWE. He was a 3-time tag team champion and a 6-time Intercontinental champion. Rob was the last to hold both the hardcore and European titles. And of course, RVD was the first WWE superstar to hold the ECW championship, which he did while also holding the WWE championship. And as the clock continues to tick down, King, can you tell us if it's better to be aggressive early on or to pace yourself in an Iron Man match?
Well, I'd lean towards pacing yourself. I'm going to take a guess here, but I'd say your average match lasts 10 to 15 minutes. Most competitors have no idea what a match 3 or 4 times that length will do to them stamina-wise.
King, this type of match, is it better suited for a striker or a grappler?
Well, the goal is to get up the ladder, and you're going to do that if you're the only competitor standing. Now, a striker can knock you out, and a grappler can make you pass out. So I would say that there's no real advantage. Just do what brought you to the dance, so to speak.
Randy Orton has said, you don't have to like him, but you have to respect him. Do you believe in those words?
Well, I know Randy Orton believes it. And let's face it, it's hard to argue with success. And Randy Orton is a success. He has the win-loss record to prove it. He has the path of destruction to prove it. When you watch Orton in a match like this, it's like he goes into some sort of zone. He's in some sort of strange place in his head.
You could almost describe his emotion at times as emotionless.
Well, maybe his face is emotionless, but I think there's all sorts of evil things going on in that sadistic mind of his.
King, how important is it to these competitors to win their matches for their respective brands here at Bragging Rights?
Well, Michael, it's huge. You don't want to be the guy or gal that has to go back to the locker room and face those glares from your peers. You'd probably rather crawl into some hole and hide.
The WWE superstars visiting many forward operating bases throughout our stay. You know, these bases really are on the front line.
Yeah, and you can only imagine the smiles on the faces of these troops when they get to see the superstars out in bases that really no other entertainers would dare go to.
Rob Van Dam from Battle Creek, Michigan, got his start in the mid-90s in ECW where he developed a cult-like following. In fact, was it you, King, that coined the name Mr. Monday Night?
Yeah, well, my memory's not so good. But if I did, I haven't seen one royalty check from it.
And the TLC match is underway. There have been numerous TLC matches in WWE history. The first came over a decade ago at the 2000 SummerSlam. The rules are much like your standard ladder match. Your object is to climb a ladder and retrieve the prize hanging down from above. Here we go. And these 4 competitors will look to use these ladders as part of their own personal highlight reel. Now, the rules, I'll say simple, but they really aren't. You have to incapacitate your opponents long enough to grab a ladder, set it up in the ring, and retrieve that prize. This, of course, is TLC, but the next time we're on pay-per-view will be the end of January with the global phenomenon known as the Royal Rumble as we begin the road to WrestleMania.
Oh, man, I love the Royal Rumble. It might be my favorite pay-per-view of the year.
You think of those battles The Miz went through with Cena, King. Those were so important in changing The Miz's mind and making him more aggressive.
Well, you're right about that. Those matches with John Cena elevated the status of The Miz, not just amongst the WWE fans, but in the locker room as well.
Here we go, fatal 4-way inside Satan's structure. So, King, what's the strategy in this match?
Well, all 4 of these competitors need to figure out how to use their ally, this steel structure. The sooner you do that, the more likely you'll leave with your career intact.
King, I have to ask you, how important is it for these superstars to retain their energy in a match like the Scramble?
Well, every one of these competitors are 3 seconds away from history. So you need to be smart about when you expend energy, and when you do, you need to capitalize.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. So many wonderful memories over the years. Who'll ever forget WrestleMania 3 when the Dragon won the Intercontinental Championship?
Yeah, over 93,000 fans watched in amazement that night, much like we're watching in amazement right now.
I wish Los Conquistadors would take off those masks and give up this ridiculous charade.
Well, that's not going to happen. These are luchadors that wouldn't ever take their mask off, even in the locker room. And the same goes for Los Conquistadors. They're proud.
The living legend Terry Funk has been through so many wars throughout his career.
Well, I've had the displeasure of being in a few of those wars. And I'll tell you, You look into his eyes and you just know that this guy is nuts. There's something broken up there in that brain of his. Rey Mysterio has an incredible connection with the WWE Universe. You know, he was so touched by a prayer written by one of his fans that he had it tattooed on his side. And now it'll be part of him forever.
Ray's very dedicated, and his connection with the fans really goes both ways. You are watching the global phenomenon known as the Royal Rumble. This event is being broadcast worldwide to the United Kingdom and Canada and elsewhere in locations like Australia and Mexico. And, of course, to our fighting servicemen and women on the Armed Forces Network. And here we go with the TLC match. Now, the object is to get one of these ladders in the ring, climb it, and bring down the prize.
And just to be clear, this isn't a tables match, so going through a table won't cause you to lose.
Yeah, but it can damage your opponent big time. The next time we're on pay-per-view will be WrestleMania. Be sure to check out the annual WWE Hall of Fame ceremony the day before.
Oh, that's right. You know, it's so fun watching all those great moments and seeing all your favorite superstars. I can't wait.
The thing about Jack Swagger and his approach to sports entertainment is he's deceivingly big and deceivingly powerful.
Well, Swagger's close to 6'6" and already 265 pounds. He's so young, you know he's going to get bigger as the years go on. If you ever have the displeasure of talking to Drew McIntyre for a while, he'll go on and on about today's youth. He really feels that the kids of today are too complacent, too busy with their video games and social networking, and that one day they'll all be working for him.
The tornado tag is underway. Any strategy you would utilize in this type of match, King?
Well, so many things are different about this type of match than a normal tag match. But one thing you don't want to do is leave your partner alone and get a 2-on-1 advantage.
Here we go, triple threat rules. First person to get a pinfall or submission wins. And we talked about this earlier, King, that in this type of match, you want to hold back and let your opponents do the work for you, then pick up the scraps, so to speak, when opportunity knocks. Jericho has a tremendous championship drive. Not only was he the first undisputed champion, he's also held the Intercontinental Championship more times than anybody else in WWE history.
Yeah, and if you don't believe those accolades, just ask him.
In this matchup, the rules are simple. You must climb the ladder, retrieve the briefcase, and inside it is a guaranteed title opportunity anytime, any place. And if history is any indicator, that briefcase is as good as gold.
People ask me why these are called lumberjack matches, and it's because of its origin in the Great White North. When lumberjacks had a disagreement, they didn't have a ring, so they'd get the other lumberjacks to form a circle. And if they tried to get out, the other lumberjacks would throw them back in.
Everybody in the WWE Universe really wanted to be a part of Night of Champions. They join us in places like the United Kingdom and Germany, Japan and Canada, Australia and the Philippines, and all around the world on the Armed Forces Network. Over the past several decades, Survivor Series has become an international phenomenon, and the WWE Universe is watching in places like the United Kingdom, all over Mexico, Switzerland, the Philippines, and in many countries throughout the entire Middle East. Drew McIntyre was personally recruited by the chairman of the WWE, Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, and that has to put a lot of pressure on this young man. You don't want to disappoint Mr. McMahon after he goes out on a limb and handpicks you.
The Elimination Tornado Tag match has begun, and King, what type of strategy is there in this match?
Well, you want to isolate one of your opponents and get him out of the match as quickly as possible.
And then use the numbers game advantage, so to speak. And the table match is underway. In order to win, you have to put your opponent through a table. And to clarify, it won't count if you put yourself through the table. You must physically put your opponent through a table to win. The WWE Universe enjoying the long-standing tradition that is Backlash all around the world in places like the United Kingdom and Mexico, Italy and the Philippines, and of course around the globe on the Armed Forces Network. Here we go, and remember, the cage is made of solid steel. It is used as a weapon by the best who have survived in this environment. That steel will rip your skin apart. It will tear your body apart. Tremendous damage will occur right now. The pride and the passion, the desire and the determination, the magnificent moments all combine tonight to make this WrestleMania a night we'll never forget. Good night, everybody. Is it more important, King, to focus on the early stage of this match or the later moments?
Well, you don't really focus on the early or late points. You just want to pick up as many pinfalls and victories as possible throughout the match.
This is a 16-ton, unsympathetic, heartless, merciless prison known as the Elimination Chamber. Now these two teams will need to figure out a way to survive in this career-threatening environment. I asked several of these athletes earlier today if fear ever creeps into their mind during this type of match. And they all essentially said, we don't have time to feel fear.
That's right. This is the ultimate adrenaline rush.
King, think about the number of WWE Hall of Famers that have held the United States Championship.
No doubt. The United States Championship is a very prestigious title, and that's evident by these superstars pulling out all the stops to go home with it. We want to take a moment here to send out a special thank you to all our friends in the armed services that are in attendance. As always, WWE is proud to support our troops at home and abroad. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all that you do.
Here we go, and the rules are simple. The first team to score a pinfall or submission in this cell wins. To achieve that, the competitors can use the cell or anything they can find within it to aid them in their quest.
I can see people looking at the hair and physique of John Morrison and maybe thinking that this guy's all flash, but there's a lot of substance there. I talked to Morrison a lot in the back, and this young man is extremely intelligent and very motivated. Watch it, ref. I think he was trying to take that conquistador's mask off.
And that would be a shame, wouldn't it? Because we know how much those masks mean to Los Conquistadors and their proud luchador tradition. Remember the rules of this matchup. Pinfalls and submissions only. No countouts or disqualifications in the Hell in a Cell. And this is a different cell than we've seen in the past. It's designed to keep people inside. Jack Swagger from Perry, Oklahoma, is a two-time All-American from Oklahoma University.
Jack Swagger loves to brag about that great amateur background, and he uses some of those moves in every match. That's what's made him famous.
The troops of this base work 12 hours on, 12 hours off, and they would use their off time to help build this arena because they wanted to be a part of this special event. There's a great feature on WWE.com on the building of this arena. Remember the rules of this match. To win, one team must put all of their opponents through a table, and no disqualifications in this matchup. No pinfalls or submissions. The only thing that counts here are the tables. There is nowhere to go. There is nowhere to hide. These four competitors are trapped within this malicious steel cage and now must deal with the reality of the pain and suffering they are about to endure. And here we go with the TLC tag match. Now, this isn't a traditional tag team match. You don't tag in and out of the ring. So if one of these teams can take one of their opponents out of the picture, they'll now be in a handicap situation. The official has chained the door to this 5-ton prison, better known as Hell in a Cell. And now, these three men are trapped within its hostile confines, forced to wage war. Triple threat, falls count anywhere, and King, what kind of strategy can we expect here?
That's a good question. I guess it's to make an ally before your opponents do, and then watch your back, because it won't last long.
There's the bell. There are 2.5 miles of steel chain, over 16 tons of metal, and these 6 brave gladiators are willing to put it all on the line to survive the Elimination Chamber.
We've seen Orton demonstrate that there may not be one shred of human decency in him.
He's been called the apex predator of the WWE, and at times in his matches, it seems like he plays with his prey. These guys want to try and scramble each other's brains so they can't get back up on their feet.
Well, not necessarily just the brains. I mean, if you damage the ribs or legs enough, that'll keep your opponent down too.
What kind of strategy do you employ in this kind of ladder match, King?
Well, the strategy is simple. You got to get up the ladder and get that gold. But if previous ladder matches have taught us anything, you got to be willing to do anything to win.
King, some Iron Man matches are very low scoring. Others are high scoring. How do you think this one's going to play out?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, that's just really hard to say. It could go either way.
Whether you cheer him or not, John Cena evokes more emotion out of our fans than anybody in WWE history.
You know, I think the entire WWE universe likes Cena. They like to have fun with him.
In a match as brutal as this one will likely be, what type of strategy would you employ, King?
Well, I know the last thing you want is to take a hard shot in the head. Other than that, it's imperative to try to stay on offense.
So this will be an elimination tornado tag match. All the competitors are legal. Pinning or making one of your opponents submit will send them to the back, and the match will not end until one team is completely eliminated. Jake Roberts, innovator of the DDT, possesses one of the most sinister minds to ever come through the WWE.
Oh, you have to be evil to come up with a move as dangerous as the DDT.
At what point, King, do those thoughts creep in of, what do I have to do to put this match to rest?
And I don't know. I don't know as a WWE superstar if you ever have those thoughts of self-doubt.
Zack Ryder, brash, cocky, and I'll tell you, King, he has a serious mean streak.
Well, in my opinion, the meanest thing about Ryder is that outfit. I mean, that's just painful to look at.
Here we go, and we can expect these competitors to have a complete disregard for not only their opponents, but also their very own safety as they attempt to bring that prize down from high above the ring.
I hate the term closure, but that's really what Backlash brings. After everything that happened at WrestleMania, Backlash comes around, and, well, it brings some sense of closure to all those books left open.
So it'll be the big men first, Mark Henry and Shad. And King, Shad's not used to giving up a size advantage.
Not usually, but right now he's giving up over 100 pounds to the world's strongest man.
There's no doubt that our WWE fans watching live in places like the United Kingdom and Canada, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, and Austria are enjoying this SummerSlam extravaganza. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the process of a WWE Iron Man match. The competitor with the most pinfalls and submissions when the clock expires will be our victor. How would you like to be in there, King, and stare into the face of The Undertaker as he delivers this kind of punishment to you?
Well, when you get into the ring with The Undertaker, you know he's not going to show any mercy.
What a year we've had here in WWE. So many great moments and matches.
That's right. And you can check out all your favorites on WWE.com and see who all the Slammy Award winners are.
These matches on WWE Superstars are extremely important in building momentum.
Well, every win's important. But you're right. You sure don't want to head into Raw or Smackdown with a loss on Thursday night.
Here we go. One fall to a finish in a fatal four-way. Quickly, what's the strategy for this type of match, King?
Well, I guess you just want to try to stay out of harm's way as much as possible and let your opponents do the work for you.
These four competitors are all set to go. Remember, fatal four-way rules. The first person to score a pinfall or submission will win the match. This, of course, means you can lose without actually being beaten.
Next month, the road to WrestleMania kicks off at the annual Royal Rumble. And if you want to see the rules for the Royal Rumble match, go to WWE.com. Boy, Royal Rumble time again. I can't wait.
It is indeed a holiday tradition. We're having so much fun at Survivor Series.
Well, Survivor Series is without a doubt one of my favorite pay-per-views, and this one's been great so far.
How dangerous is a Falls Count Anywhere match, King?
Oh, geez, extremely dangerous. But here's the thing. These superstars have to sign a contract to compete in a match. They know what they're getting themselves into.
Shawn Michaels has passion, a fire that burns deep inside his soul that will never allow him to give up in a match.
Absolutely. Shawn Michaels is the embodiment of heart.
The WWE Universe joining us around the world for the Bash in places like the United Kingdom, Israel, Canada, Germany, and Spain, as well as in many countries throughout the Middle East. King, what's the strategy for a Royal Rumble?
I'd say stay out of the way as much as possible. Let your opponents do the work. Only expend energy when you know you can get an elimination or when you have to fight to stay in the ring.
So when you become interim champion in this match, is your strategy any different from the rest of the competitors, King?
Well, yeah. More than anybody, he needs to be looking to break up submission holds and pin attempts.
Here we go inside the cell. It's 2,700 feet of reinforced chain link.
And every inch of it can be used as an ally to maim your opponent.
Here we go. And King, is there any strategy for the first two competitors in the Royal Rumble match?
Sure. You'd love to eliminate your opponent as quickly as possible so you can face the next competitor one-on-one.
And the damn bell doesn't ring to start this match. It tolls. It tolls to let the world know that one of these men will be engulfed in flames. Remember, in championship matches, the title cannot change hands by countout or disqualification.
Yeah, that's why they call it the championship advantage. You can lose the match, but still keep the title.
Again, this is the fantastic Tribute to the Troops special.
What an honor it is to give back just a little something and say thanks to our brave fighting men and women overseas.
This match is all about danger and risk, ladies and gentlemen. That Money in the Bank briefcase is 20 feet in the air, and these men will put their careers on the line to come home with it. The bell has tolled. And if you think a normal one-on-one steel cage match is barbaric, I have a feeling this one will redefine our understanding of the word brutality.
You know, you might think the strategy when facing Batista is to stay away from the power of the animal. But the fact is, that's just not realistic. I mean, that's what Batista is all about. Sometimes the moves in no disqualification matches cause as much damage to you as they do your opponent. That's always something that you want to avoid, in my opinion. But then again, I don't really like to get hurt.
The TLC tag team match is underway. Tables, ladders, and chairs are all available for these teams. The only rule is you win by retrieving the object above the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WrestleMania, the worldwide extravaganza. And the emotion in this place is infectious. When you talk about ability, you need to talk about Evan Bourne. This young superstar has such incredible balance and speed that he's easily one of the most athletic competitors in the whole WWE.
Oh, how many shots can you take against this twisted metal?
Every shot to the cage takes its toll. We've seen time and again where competitors are changed after encountering this type of environment. The amazing thing about Triple H is all of his intangibles.
Oh, yeah. Power, aggression, intelligence. And not only does he have those things, but he might be the best in each category. Oh, my gosh, through the cell.
The cell's given way. The steel ripped open after that collision, and his anatomy suffered a tremendous fall of over 20 feet. Christian has had several big matches throughout his career, starting back at WrestleMania 20. There's been TLC matches and Money in the Bank matches, and Christian shined in them all. These men are known friends, but the title is on the line.
Oh, yeah. And when the championship's at stake, I don't care how close you are. Friendship is going to take a back seat. This is a very dangerous match. You know, the grim reality is somebody will likely get injured because the goal is to debilitate and maim so you can get up that ladder.
There's the bell. The prize hangs in the balance, 20 feet in the air, and all three of these competitors will do whatever it takes, including shortening their own careers, to retrieve it. The 5-ton Hell in a Cell surrounds the ring. The competitors are locked in. Just think about what tortures and horrors these men are about to face. Traditional Survivor Series rules apply, 2 people per team. Once you're eliminated, you head back to the locker room, and the final man or final team left standing will win this matchup and all the bragging rights. And the triple threat ladder match is underway. Again, the object here, no pinfalls, no submissions. You can only win by climbing a ladder and retrieving the prize before your opponents do. The Royal Rumble really is our all-star game, except our all-star game actually means something. A guaranteed opportunity in the main event at WrestleMania. So these 4 competitors appear to be ready. The prize dangles 20 feet above the ring. To bring it down, you must incapacitate your opponents long enough to scale a ladder. So let's get into this match. It's a table tag team match. No pinfalls, no submissions, no disqualifications. The only way to win is to put one of your opponents through a table.
You might think Los Conquistadors look ridiculous, Michael, but their outfits are reminiscent of the Slammy statues. And I've got a feeling there are a whole lot of Slammies in Los Conquistadors' future.
What a great time we had last night, King, at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
Oh, yeah. It was so great seeing all those memorable legends again. I can't wait to see who gets inducted next year.
Kane sees Evil King, and he likes it.
I know. And the slower, the longer he can drag out the pain on his opponent, the more pleasure he gets out of it.
King, can you imagine the pain and suffering you have to inflict to knock your opponent out?
Punishment, pain, agony, suffering. This is extremely physical.
There's the bell, and the clock has started. When it stops, the competitor that scored the most points via pinfall or submission will be the winner of this Iron Man match. Oh, good Lord. A second section above the cell is broken free, and once more a body plummets to the canvas.
Oh, this thing has to come to an end. Do you remember when I won the Royal Rumble?
You did? I mean, I know you've come close to setting records for least amount of time in the ring.
Hey, come on now, wait a minute.
The WWE Universe watching Hell in a Cell live on pay-per-view around the world, from Canada to Australia, Luxembourg, and Malaysia. And, of course, on the Armed Forces Network. 2 competitors will start in this elimination chamber. Other combatants will be released from their pods throughout the duration of the match. And the last one left standing will be declared the winner. Now, who does a methodical pace benefit, King?
Well, Whenever the dominating competitor takes his time, it gives everybody a chance to catch their breath. So I don't know.
Mr. McMahon predicted one day Drew McIntyre would be champion. And within less than 6 months of his arrival, Drew McIntyre won the prestigious Intercontinental Championship. These competitors will have to stop at nothing, putting their careers and bodies on the line in order to bring down the prize, located 20 feet above the ring.
I can't get over all this steel surrounding the ring, Michael.
This steel structure is cold and callous and doesn't bear a hint of remorse to the destruction being caused within it. Over the last 10 years, Smackdown has excited the WWE Universe with some of the most memorable moments in television history. And we're witnessing more amazing moments here tonight. And we're underway with the championship scramble match. Score a pinfall or submission and become the current champion. And whoever has that moniker at the end of this melee will win the title. This has to be an emotionally filled match for these friends as they compete in this outstanding contest.
Yeah, I don't see how it can't be. They've given it their all.
Sooner or later, you have to believe the steel cage is going to come into play.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of time. And whoever uses the cage first will have the advantage.
WrestleMania was, of course, last month, but what's so exciting is that this Backlash event really gets the new season, so to speak, going here in the WWE.
You know, most men you talk to in the WWE don't even want to be in a ladder match under any circumstances. It's just too risky, and it's grueling, and frankly, it's career-threatening.
This is a TLC matchup, getting smacked by chairs, driven through tables, and falling from 12-foot ladders. All of those scenarios can actually happen here tonight. Here we go. Matchups underway. Tornado style. All the men in this match will be in the ring at the same time. The first team to use a ladder to climb high and grab the prize will win. So, King, remember, this will be a triple threat and table rules. Only one person can win, but everybody will be looking to drive somebody through a table. Edge at times doesn't seem to care about what the WWE Universe thinks.
Oh, I disagree. I think there's nothing more that Edge likes better than to rile up our fans.
Kofi is so unpredictable.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes if even Kofi knows what he's going to do next, or if some of these moves just happen out of instinct.
I'll go with the instinct.
This Breaking Point event is centered around submission matches, and personally, I always hated being in submission matches. Even if you won, your joints still hurt for weeks.
I don't agree with a lot of things DiBiase says, but there's no denying the man's made a tremendous impact here. And he's done it earlier than any WWE Hall of Famer. King, what kind of strategy is there in a submission match?
Well, you have to target a body part, no question. After that, you keep attacking that spot until you can slap a hold on it.
And as these three competitors begin to do battle, they have to believe that years will be shaved off their life on the unforgiving steel of the Hell in a Cell. As we peer through the chain link, please realize that these competitors are fighting possibly to keep their careers alive inside the confines of the steel cage. And I've been told that after that brutal attack, our injured superstar remains in the hospital in critical condition. And our thoughts go out to him and, of course, his family. Tags aren't necessary in this tag team matchup. Anybody can go for a pinfall or submission at any time. This one's just a little more than organized chaos. 25%. Each one of these competitors only has a 25% chance of winning this match. Those aren't great odds for any of these athletes. Superfly possesses a very unorthodox style. He utilizes chops, headbutts, and the most explosive crossbody in WWE history.
As much suffering as these competitors are going through, you'd still have to say it's worth putting your body on the line in this match. That opportunity for a championship is just too priceless to pass up. I love Backlash because after WrestleMania, there's always so much fallout, so many repercussions and unfinished business. Tonight, that all gets taken care of. One of the most important things in a match that you know is going to last as long as this is you have to conserve energy. It's important to also avoid injury as much as possible.
And if history's any indication, this TLC match should be nothing short of extraordinary. Set your DVRs, you won't want to miss a minute of this match. The carnage in this one is secondary. Ultimately, no matter how much damage you inflict or sustain, it's about getting up the ladder and getting that briefcase.
Oh my God, it broke!
The cell roof is broken open, ladies and gentlemen, and with that fall, I'm not sure, but we may need to get the medics out here.
These submission matches are so physical. I mean, it's not just about making your opponent tap. You have to absolutely punish them before you even think about locking in a submission hold. Tonight, it's the Royal Rumble. But next month, the road to WrestleMania goes through No Way Out, which means it's time for the demonic Elimination Chamber. So far, Judgment Day has been absolutely incredible. But get ready to get extreme, because next month, it's the Night of Extreme. What a pay-per-view that'll be.
Triple H is a guaranteed Hall of Famer, but he's not thinking about what he's done in the past. He's only focused on the present and winning. And that's what the game does best. The ladders are so unpredictable in this type of match. It almost seems as if they have a mind of their own.
Well, they can certainly be your ally or your enemy in this match.
Jericho believes himself to be the epicenter of the WWE Universe.
Yeah, Jericho might just have a slight God complex.
You think? Mike Knox has demonstrated time and again the barbaric lengths he's willing to go in a match.
And he's also demonstrated time and again that he's a mental case. If you want to talk about strategy, I figure the strategy for Ray is to keep this match fast-paced. The longer this match goes, the more likely Ray will get himself into trouble.
CM Punk, the Elliot Ness of the WWE, would like nothing better than to enforce his own beliefs and lifestyle choices on the rest of the WWE Universe. Rey Mysterio is a walking example of why size shouldn't prevent athletic success. Rey is living proof that anyone can achieve greatness if they work hard enough. The referee has called for the bell in this Falls Count Anywhere match. Where this one ends, no one can predict. Ironically, it might be right in the middle of the ring. These four competitors are about to sacrifice life and limb to reach that title that must be 20 feet above the ring. Nobody in this capacity crowd will be in their chair during this one. These four competitors are going to beat the hell out of each other with tables, ladders, and chairs.
In these no disqualification matches, at times it's the most innovative superstar, the one that comes up with a unique way of dealing damage that's able to score the win.
Mark Henry has fought for domination once more. Frustration has to be building as you wonder, what will it take to defeat the world's strongest man? Swagger's extremely arrogant, but there's no doubt that the All-American can back up everything he says. He set an NCAA record with 30 pins in one season. We talk about Cena's guts, his dogged determination. But can you believe what he's done tonight?
Are you kidding? Each and every week Cena amazes me.
And if there was ever a time for the WWE Universe to chant, "We want tables," now would be it. The fatal four-way table match has begun. The entrances are over. The announcements have been made, and the bell is rung. The only thing that remains is to find out which one of these four superstars is the best.
I wonder what country Los Conquistadors are from.
Well, I guess they could be from anywhere. Argentina, Mexico, Canada.
Canada?
Jericho likes to call many of the other WWE superstars frauds.
Well, Jericho doesn't think anybody's the real deal except himself.
Are you surprised at all by the reaction these fans give The Miz?
Well, no, not really. The Miz has already made most people wish his parents had never met. Randy Orton looks like he's in some sort of trance. He has himself so psyched up for this.
A very calculated assault being waged by the Viper. And the last man standing match is underway. King, this isn't about pinning your opponent or making them submit. In order to win, you must physically destroy him.
Let me tell you what a rotten kid Cody Rhodes was growing up. When he was 8 years old, he told his mom he wanted a dog for Christmas. And she said, "No, you'll have turkey like everybody else." You can almost sense a hesitation at times between these two guys. Do they want to win? Of course. But I don't think they're willing to allow it to cost their friendship.
Remember, in this contest, the current champion doesn't have to be pinned or submit in order to lose the championship. He's on the defense, and the other five competitors are on the attack.
Yoshitatsu is so fast and so quick with his offense. The only way to get him may be to ground him in order to slow him down.
Well, that's much easier said than done. We're underway, and these three are going to dance inside this unforgiving steel cage. The one who's most cruel, most barbaric, will win in there. What's the intangible that's going to be the difference maker in this match? Strength, speed, experience, cunning? All those things can help you get that briefcase. When you face Kingston, you hope to ground him and to regulate that controlled frenzy.
Well, you can hope to do that all you want, but I really don't think it's possible. The object when fighting in one of these types of matches is to stay as healthy as possible, as long as possible, because everybody's going to see the trainer after this one. This is an extreme four-person contest. To survive, to win, you have to dance perilously close to the psychotic fringe.
These athletes seem to have tried everything in their playbook.
Oh, there's more in their arsenal. I promise you that. I don't know what it is, but they'll find it. Remember what's inside the briefcase above the ring. It's basically a contract. You have an opportunity to wrestle for any championship you want over a year-long period.
The troops are having a blast here. You know the ring was set up by servicemen and women as well. After they got done, they took the opportunity to bounce around in there and have some fun. Of course, King, the steel cage is designed for a great number of reasons, and the number one being to keep people from getting inside that want to help out. I'm getting word that our injured superstar was sent to a nearby hospital, and he's listed in critical condition. We'll keep you posted as we know more. And Kozlov, well skilled in so many different techniques, sambo, kickboxing, grappling, has closed the gap and is now in control. This is a Falls Count Anywhere tag team match. No countouts, no disqualifications. Everything's legal, including the kitchen sink, if you can find one. Once again, this match is going to be contested under extreme rules. And by the end of this, I expect both of these teams to regret enlisting in this one.
Tyson Kidd likes to talk about how he hoped to one day be as good as the superstar he grew up watching. By now, Tyson believes he's better than all of those legends. Rey Mysterio said before that he's never been the bigger man in a match.
That may be in as far as inches and pounds, but certainly not passion and will. And this will be no congeniality contest. These two teams are out to make a sacrifice to this devilish structure, the Hell in a Cell. Rey Mysterio has said before that you don't have to be a 6'6" man with jacked muscles to be the best. It's about heart, and Rey Mysterio is full of heart. DiBiase doesn't feel he needs to pay his dues in the industry. He takes what he wants, and like it or not, that attitude could get him far here in the WWE. Shawn Michaels has been a WWE champion, a world champion, intercontinental, and tag team champion. His accolades are unparalleled. The ring, the cell, is full of superstars, and all of them may simply be more interested in survival than winning tonight.
Rey Mysterio is one of my all-time favorite superstars, but he's got a huge hill to climb tonight. Well, I mean, it's not a hill, it's a mountain. We talk about strategy. There was a strategy session between our cameramen earlier today to ensure that no matter where the action goes, we can cover it.
You are watching Survivor Series, which all began way back in 1987 in Richfield, Ohio, and that started a decades-long phenomenon. And we welcome you to Hell in a Cell. The arena here has been sold out for weeks. This will be a night we never forget, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you that. You want to talk about no holds barred? Tables, ladders, and chairs. They're all not only legal, they're encouraged in a TLC match. And King, remember, triple threat rules. The first person to gain pinfall or submission wins. Additionally, anything can be used as a weapon. Here we go. And this is almost a triple threat. Not only do we have three competitors, but we have three different types of weapons surrounding the ring. Again, the rules. No pins or submissions. Anything goes. The victor is the first superstar that can physically drive his opponent through the table. Look past the ring at the thousands and thousands of WWE fans in attendance. Each and every one of them are having a great time tonight.
One of the things you have to come to terms with in the Royal Rumble is you can work with a partner all you want, but in the end, it's every man for himself.
What a match this should be. You don't have to worry about pinning your opponent. You have to inflict enough pain, agony, and suffering to make them submit. Again, the leg wrapped around the steel post.
Man, that can tear your hamstring or blow out the knee.
It can do a lot of things, and none of them are good. There's the bell, and we're underway in this tag team steel cage match. And while there are four competitors, the most dangerous element is the cold steel surrounding the ring. Though his age may not give it away, Evan Bourne has experienced wrestling all over the world, something which he puts to good use in the WWE. And in this first blood match, it's not going to be a nosebleed or a busted lip to stop this one. You're going to have to give your opponent that proverbial crimson mask. The disdain between these men is so apparent. Emotions are running wild in what is now a very frightening situation.
What a battle this has been. I mean, these men have absolutely destroyed each other over the course of this match, and there's still time left on the clock. I'm not intimidated by many men, but then again, Goldust is a bit different than most men.
Yeah, but he's one of the toughest superstars in WWE. There's the bell, and this should be an amazing offensive display. I believe, King, that we'll see more high risk out of these teams than any of us can imagine. This lumberjack match is now underway, And with this group of superstars surrounding the ring, the last thing either of these competitors want is to be thrown out.
No way out. This pay-per-view has become synonymous with the Elimination Chamber, the most destructive environment ever conceived in the WWE.
I have a feeling under normal circumstances, we would have seen a pinfall by now.
But this one isn't about pinfalls, Cole. It's about climbing that ladder.
The next time WWE comes to you on pay-per-view, it'll be at the Thanksgiving tradition, the Survivor Series. Who will be bragging next month? The match is officially underway, and these four competitors have to know that the risks of serious injury are only amplified when you compete in a steel cage. Chris Jericho, who grew up in Canada, has denounced Canada on several occasions.
Well, don't kick Jericho in the heart. You'll probably break your toe.
Any type of strategy you would use in this type of match?
Well, you have to focus on a body part and keep working it, eventually setting up your submission hold. You got to wonder, Michael, what are the odds that we'll see new tag team champions come out of here tonight?
Well, pretty good, if the challengers have anything to say about it. Zack Ryder told me before that no one truly knows what Zack Ryder is capable of.
Well, right now he's showing me a lot of what he's able to do.
Royal Rumble rules. The only way to be eliminated is to go over the top rope and have both feet hit the floor. The last superstar standing is the winner. And the TLC match has begun. These three competitors will need to incapacitate their opponents, set up a ladder, and bring down the prize. If you're just tuning in, Michael Cole, along with WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler, welcoming you to this amazing sold-out event. CM Punk told me earlier tonight that he has zero chance of losing this match.
Well, that might be the case, but we're going to have the match anyway, just to make sure. So many questions are about to be answered. Are you willing to hurt? Are you willing to play through pain? Are you willing to shorten your career to pick up the victory?
Members of the WWE Universe pulling for their respective shows worldwide tonight in places like the United Kingdom, Germany, Italy, and New Zealand. John Cena, the 2009 Superstar of the Year, and he would trade that rare honor away in a heartbeat for the WWE Championship. The cold and calculating Randy Orton has gained momentum in what can only be described as a methodical assault. These competitors will always be looking to unleash their finishing maneuver, and when that happens, the complication of the match can change in a heartbeat.
You may not like Miz, and quite frankly, I don't.
You're not alone.
But you've got to give the devil his due. He's good, but he knows it.
What a fall! It looked like he landed extremely awkward there.
Oh, I mean, Michael, how do you fall from that far up and not land awkwardly?
Here we go, and King, the odds may be too overwhelming in this one.
Oh, you can say that again. Nothing is more difficult than a handicap match.
These competitors are scheduled to eventually go toe-to-toe, but now they have to team together and come up with a way to get through this match. Neither of these competitors really had the time to prepare for this matchup. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt and develop a game plan to win. There's the bell. It's going to be a triple threat table match. The first person to put one of their competitors through a table will get the win.
Remember, if a superstar gets thrown out, the Lumberjacks are only supposed to throw them back in the ring. But it usually gets a lot more physical than that.
And the Royal Rumble match has begun. Every few moments, another superstar will enter the ring until one competitor is left standing. As these two teams square off, all four competitors will be legal at all times. Falls count anywhere. This isn't going to be a match. It's going to be a war. Thus far, this has been a very physical, very intense, anything-goes contest. The toll these competitors have taken is insurmountable. These six competitors are all ready, all fired up to climb that ladder and earn a title shot at a title of their choosing. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the longest-running weekly episodic television show in history. This is Monday Night Raw. When Monday Night Raw heads to your neck of the woods, do yourself a favor and go be a part of the longest-running weekly episodic television show in history. Even though it's every man for himself, is it a good strategy to have an ally, King?
If you can find one, sure. But that doesn't mean you can take your eyes off him.
The opportunist edge. Right now, I'd say he's down. But when it comes to the cunning, rated R superstar, that's when he's at his most dangerous. David Hart Smith, part of the Hart dynasty, he's classically trained, can apply any hold expertly, and brings a whole lot of power as well. And this one will not be pretty. These men will fight for their life as they attempt to drag their opponent into that hellfire. Look at the ring right now. We're essentially seeing a modern-day telling of David versus Goliath. This is just a massive challenge. We've been talking about it all night, And the wait is finally over. This, ladies and gentlemen, is our main event. Triple H, as controversial as anyone has ever been in WWE.
Oh, yeah, the game just loves to stir the pot.
The Animal Batista loves to keep his opponents close, dominating them with his tremendous strength and vicious submission holds. Christian has said he loves to test himself, be it against young talent or seasoned veterans. Christian enjoys a challenge. And remember, the first man here to bleed loses. This match won't be stopped by some trickle of blood. No, someone in this match is going to be busted open. Here we go in this tag match, and there's nothing the ref can do but be window dressing. There can be no countout, and there can be no disqualifications. What an amazing TLC match this one's going to be. These competitors are out to deliver crippling damage with any and every object they can find. Here we go, and this 16-ton prison has been locked shut. The two teams now must wage war within the Elimination Chamber. And this traditional Survivor Series-styled elimination match has begun. The team that eliminates all of their opponents first will be determined the winner. Superfly Jimmy Snuka, this Hall of Famer, has been a longtime favorite of the WWE Universe.
Oh, yeah. Everybody loves the Superfly.
CM Punk, the first ever straight-edge heavyweight champion.
That's an accolade he'll enjoy reminding you of any chance he gets.
And this one's going to be physical. This one's going to be intense. These three competitors are out to break their opponents in two by putting them through a table. And the first two competitors are ready here in the Devil's Playground. This is the most vile, demonic structure ever created in the WWE.
Again, at this pay-per-view, the whole event is about finding your opponent's breaking point. And that's what these competitors are searching for now.
Jake the Snake once again in control. And it's reasons like this that made him such a legendary figure in the WWE. So it's going to be the third-generation superstar, Ted DiBiase, starting things out against the world's largest athlete, The Big Show. Earlier, this superstar was attacked by an unknown assailant, an assailant that is yet to be determined. It could be anyone. Once again, this is a no disqualification match. Chairs, tables, the ropes, everything is legal in this contest. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining us, you've tuned in to Friday night's most exciting show. This is Smackdown. We're underway, and I got a feeling this one could very well be a career-defining match for these three superstars as they start off here in this TLC matchup. You see the steel cage enclosing these competitors. The spectacular matchups we've had in the past may pale in comparison to what we see here tonight. Extreme Rules being watched all over the world in places like Germany, Australia, Canada, Israel, and Italy. I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there are goosebumps in this arena. The WWE Universe is electric for this main event. I'll tell you what's impressed me about Morrison is toughness. He can take a beating, and just when you think he's done, he comes back and wins it. So this will be Tornado Tag Team Rules. Basically, it's one fall to a finish with your partner legal at all times. There's no need to tag in and out. The four combatants have been locked in. The bell is rung. And now it's time to find out who will survive in this demonic structure. Here we go with the Battle Royal. And in this type of matchup, it's imperative to hone that ring sense. You have to know where all your opponents will be at all times. The Night of Champions event has become one of the most eagerly anticipated pay-per-views of the year. Tonight, every title will be defended. We're not looking for pins. We're not looking for disqualifications. This match can only end when the title is brought down from the top of the ladder. And we're off with this TLC match. Tables, ladders, and chairs are strewn around the ring and can all be used as weapons. Here we go. You can eliminate via pinfall, submission, and countout in this traditional Survivor Series-styled elimination match. The world title. That's why these men are putting their careers on the line. That's why they may never be the same after tonight. Here we go, and this is going to be physically grueling for these two teams, for these four combatants in this tornado-style tag team match. Here we go. This match will not be pretty. It will be grit and power and determination that will determine who comes away with the win. So it's going to be the massive Big Show, starting out against quite possibly the more massive ego of CM Punk. Talking to a number of the servicemen and women, they never miss a moment of Raw or SmackDown. Even out here, they're able to watch it every week. WrestleMania is such a huge event. Many superstars have been here all week, interacting with the WWE Universe during fan access. Yoshitatsu has proven in the past how resilient he is, how capable he is of taking punishment and bouncing back. And here we go with this tag team match. The team that picks up the first pinfall or submission wins, and it's just that simple. Randy Orton is just unbalanced. There's nothing as terrifying as looking into the Viper's eyes when he's in this kind of mental state. So at nearly half a ton, it'll be the world's largest athlete starting things out against the world's strongest man. Here we go. It'll be Diva versus Diva and Superstar versus Superstar in this intergender tag team match.
Now, I don't get that. Why break it up this early? If I was in a match like this, I'd want my opponents to get as worn down as quickly as possible. Remember, the strategy is just going to be to continue to eliminate people until you're the last one in there standing with a ladder.
Rey Mysterio and Big Show both ready to go here, but I'm thinking Rey might have made a mistake to start this one out first. So it'll be the 175-pound Rey Mysterio starting out against the 400-pound world's strongest man, Mark Henry. The wait is over. It's finally time for this one-on-one contest where the only way to win is by putting your opponent through a table. There's a whole host of styles in the ring right now. The rules are to throw your opponents over the top rope and get both feet to hit the floor.
You know, CM Punk likes to play at being Surgeon General, but I'd warn that stepping in the ring against Punk is plenty bad for your health.
So the Elimination Tag Team table match has begun. Remember, in order to win, both of your opponents have to go through the tables. What a hellaciously physical match these gladiators have put each other through. The intensity in this has been incredible. We might not always like the tactics, King, but the theory's sound. Use this environment to your advantage before your opponent does. They're smart, they're sexy, they're powerful. They're the WWE Divas, and right now they are competing for the Diva Championship. What's the deal with Michelle McCool, King?
Well, she thinks she's the best, and she'll gladly tell you about it if you want to take the time to listen.
Just think about this before you go to bed, kiddies. One of these two men will leave here with severe burns before the night is over.
Some people believe that Hurricane and mild-mannered backstage reporter Gregory Helms are the same person, but I don't get the similarity.
And apparently, we aren't going to have to wait for this moment at all. Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase are going to kick this off. So this will be a triple threat match. Pinfalls and submissions are in effect, and the first competitor to get one of those will win the match. The Battle Royal has begun, so King, who's your favorite right now?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and take the biggest and the strongest.
Time continuing to expire. The clock, always the enemy. When you're in the lead, you want less time. When you're behind, you want more. Would you look at this? It's going to be the two future Hall of Famers, Michaels and The Undertaker, that will start this one out. Remember, multiple turnbuckles are exposed, and that has to be so tempting for these combatants as they hope to inflict serious damage. Welcome to Elimination Chamber. Tonight, we'll feature several incredible matches on the road to WrestleMania. MVP, such a determined superstar, really toughened up, in his words, early on in his life, and has made the best of it. Here we go, and I sincerely hope, that the EMTs are ready to rush out here. I have a feeling this one will get ugly. Remember, no pinfalls, no submissions. You must throw your opponent over the top rope with both feet touching the floor. And that ring post is solid steel. There's no give to it whatsoever. He could have inflicted some serious damage right there. This match must be won in the ring by pinfall or submission. The first man to make that happen will win this Hell in a Cell match. I don't use the word evil lightly, but that's what comes to mind when I see the delight Mark Henry takes in destroying his fellow superstars. I'll never understand why Mark Henry resorts to such brutal tactics. He's already the world's strongest man. What has he got left to prove? And here we go in this Inferno match, where, by God, one of these two men will be set on fire. Is that Uno or Dos, King?
Well, Dos is the taller of the two.
Or is that Edge and Christian?
Oh, come on.
And there will be no luck of the draw advantage in this Elimination Chamber match. The carnage will start fast and most certainly end in bloodshed.
You know what my favorite part of SummerSlam is? The Divas. Every year we get to see divas in bikinis. I love it.
And a brutal slam of the head into that unforgiving steel cage. These superstars will stop at absolutely nothing to pick up the win here tonight. Van Dam is so unorthodox, it's so hard to prepare for RVD because there's just very few people that possess his abilities offensively. You want to talk about combustible elements? Look no further than this match. A tag team, elimination, tornado, table match. Somehow, someway, Shawn Michaels has come battling back again. The Heartbreak Kid is simply amazing.
You know what, Michael? I'll bet you think Los Conquistadors are Edge and Christian.
I absolutely do.
Boy, you're cynical.
Again, disqualifications and countouts are non-existent in this environment. It's all about eliminating the rest of the competitors in this battle royal.
You might get the best of Batista on occasion. You might even beat Batista on occasion. But you will never intimidate the animal.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourself for what will be a career-threatening ladder match. These men showing amazing guts, amazing fortitude as that prize still hangs 20 feet above the ring. The veteran Undertaker. He's been in this position numerous times, and most of those times he's found a way to overcome the odds. These competitors have had a long time to prepare for this one. This may be the most anticipated match in recent history. We aren't seeing the DX Shawn Michaels. This isn't the fun-loving Shawn Michaels. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the showstopper. The competitors are ready to do battle, and this chamber may have a greater impact on the outcome of this match than any one of these gladiators. The Money in the Bank dangles 20 feet above the ring, and all 6 of these competitors will sacrifice life and limb to get it. Throughout John Cena's career, he's never quit. No matter how tired he is, no matter how bruised and battered he is, John Cena keeps going.
Yoshitatsu is still so young in his career, and because of that, every opportunity to stand out and succeed is so important.
A steel cage match is deadly enough, but mixing in the combustible ingredient of a tag match and the chance of injury increases tenfold. What about it, King? You think you might root for Jericho tonight?
Are you kidding? I couldn't warm up to this guy if we were cremated together.
All 4 competitors are ready to go in this tornado elimination table match. In order to win, both members of a team have to be put through the tables. This is no doubt one of the most brutal match concepts ever conceived. It's all about destruction. May the most extreme man win. And this one's going to be tag team warfare. The team that gets the first pinfall or submission will be declared the winner tonight. These 2 teams are surrounded by tables, and the first pairing to put one of their opponents through one of those tables will be the winners.
Batista can bench press 500 pounds. Imagine a man with that much force doing any type of move to you. Oh, we've seen this from Orton before. Just stomping on every exposed body part, inflicting as much pain as he can. When I look at Sheamus, I just see that white body. It reminds me of a corpse. In fact, I might like him better if he were one.
So this will be held under submission rules. That means pinfalls don't count. It's all about getting your opponent to tap out. These battle royals are so chaotic. So much carnage and damage are caused during the course of these type of matches. There's the bell, and you can feel that electricity. This is what WWE is all about. Again, you are watching Hell in a Cell, an event that will shorten careers and create legends. Once again, if you just joined us, you are watching Thursday night's most electric show, WWE Superstars. This should be an epic match for the WWE Universe. If you just tuned in, you're witnessing something special. If you haven't done it yet, check out WWE.com. You'll find updates and blogs from all your favorite superstars. And there's the bell signifying the start of this Elimination Chamber matchup. The first 2 competitors are in the ring and ready to beat the hell out of each other. And no matter how many times we've seen a Hell in a Cell matchup, we've always witnessed some vile act that's never been seen before. There are no holds barred in this Iron Man match, but the pinfalls and submissions must occur inside of the ring.
Oh my gosh! Look at the way that knee bounced right off that ring post. There's no give to that post at all. It's solid steel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here on Monday Night Raw in this jam-packed arena. Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler calling the action. And here we go with this Anything Goes, Falls Count Anywhere triple threat match. The first person to get a pinfall or submission will win. And the ladder match is underway. These 4 men will attempt to scramble up the rungs of one of these ladders to reach that title dangling high above the ring. So it now comes down to this. These 3 brave gladiators must now do battle within the trappings of a steel cage. This tag team matchup will occur in the evil Hell in a Cell. There's no escape, no rules, and no mercy. Right now, as families at home watching this contest, waiting to see if those destructive promises will be fulfilled. Here we go, and that title hangs high above the ring like a noose, just waiting for another superstar to fall beneath it. Here we go with tonight's last man standing match, and this one's going to be a physically brutal battle, as brutal as they come. Great match here. But if you missed any of the matches from this week, go to WWE.com to catch up on all the action. I've got to be honest. I don't think the current champion cares as much about retaining the title tonight as inflicting pain. When Big Show is motivated to do something, there's not another man in the world that can stop him.
And he's very motivated tonight.
This is what WrestleMania is all about, ladies and gentlemen. The passion, leaving your body and heart and soul in the ring. This is a table triple threat match. The first person to put one of their two opponents through a table is declared the victor. Eve personifies what the WWE Divas are all about. Smart, sexy, and powerful. So this handicap match will be 1-on-2. But the two will need to work together, tagging in and out of the ring. There's the bell, and we have nothing to do but sit back and watch the destruction as these four competitors attempt to put each other through a table. This was a normal match. I have a feeling we would have seen a 3 count long ago. But this one's about climbing the ladder. Now trying to make the climb again, slowly, but with everything he's been through as quickly as he can. Oh, God, not again.
I have never seen anything as sadistic as this match. His career may very well be over.
In order to win this match, all you have to do is put your opponent through a table. Of course, that's much easier said than done. And this tornado table match is an elimination style. Once a member of the team goes through a table, the match is over. What a vicious attack. There are some things that should just be completely off limits as far as I'm concerned, and that's one of them.
He needs to get off that ladder. Oh, that can cut you, break your bones. Simply put, permanent damage.
This Ted DiBiase is an intelligent competitor. He possesses a sound, methodical offense that breaks his opponents down. This should be a wild start to this tag team match. It's Extreme Rules. That means no disqualifications and no countouts.
Remember, the thing about these battle royals is you can work together all you want, but in the end, it's every man for himself.
Archer, 6'8", 6'9", 270 pounds, possesses a hybrid of street and mat fighting skills. WWE superstars, always so action-packed, putting on incredible matches like the one we're watching right now. If you're not intimidated at the sight of a heavily muscled 6.5-foot animal like Batista, you better have your head examined. So this will be a one fall to a finish one-on-one match. The first competitor to score a pin or submission will win. Earlier, this contest was made an Iron Man match, giving these competitors very little time to prepare. No pinfalls, no disqualifications or submissions. Only one way to win, and that's to put your opponent through a table. Risks have been taken. Bodies have crashed and burned, and still that prize dangles high above the ring. These four competitors have entered the devilish Hell in a Cell, but only one will leave with their soul. No one else brings what Shawn Michaels brings. HBK, the most decorated superstar in WWE history. And here comes Cena. John Cena is rolling. The adrenaline is coursing through his veins.
Oh, man. Right now he's just saying, I can do whatever I want to you.
And there's nothing you can do about it. I never thought I'd see these competitors together, but they recognize a bigger threat, and that's why they're here. There's the bell, and here we go. The first competitor to pin or make their opponent tap will win this match. And can you believe this? Right off the bat, it's going to be Cody Rhodes facing off against the Viper, Randy Orton. Here we go. No countouts, no pinfalls, no disqualifications. The only way to win is to knock your opponent out. It's falls count anywhere, no holds barred. Expect this one to be physical, intense, and destructive. Well, if you ask me, a victory is message enough. But Mark Henry seems to enjoy dishing out senseless brutality. If you're just joining us, welcome to Monday Night Raw. I'm Michael Cole alongside the Hall of Famer, Jerry the King Lawler. Oh my gosh, did you see the way his head was driven off those heavy steps?
See it? I could hear it.
Oof! He just got launched off that cell, and there was nothing below except for hard concrete. And suddenly, Smith is building momentum. It's so hard to derail a man of David Hart's size when he gets going. You are looking live at the WWE Universe, who's in a frenzy for this revolutionary TLC. With his high-flying offense, Evan Bourne is one of the most exciting cruiserweights to debut in WWE in recent years. And at this point, one would have to think that the controlled frenzy of Kingston may be neutralized for the rest of the match.
I can never get over the brutality in this type of match. I mean, it's likely that by the time this match is over, somebody will need stitches.
WWE Magazine out this month. and you'll find some interesting articles in there about all the superstars here in the WWE.
Michael, an interesting fact about Crime Time. Before they came to the WWE, their cell number had nothing to do with a telephone.
And the phenomenal, almost supernatural resilience of The Undertaker keeps him going in this matchup. It only happens once a year, ladies and gentlemen, and you're a part of it. The revolutionary TLC pay-per-view. And you're watching the longest-running weekly episodic television show in history. This is Monday Night Raw. Again, the winner of this Royal Rumble match will go on to headline WrestleMania in 2 months. This one just boils down to strength versus quickness. It's so hard to prepare for either of these competitors. The referee monitoring this very closely. At any moment, he will have to call this match if one of these combatants can't get up. MVP fighting back somehow. The guts we talk about. A gritty performance by MVP.
Say what you will about any superstar in the WWE, but I'll always be a peep, Michael.
You're peep-like, all right. And if you've done the math, this type of match doesn't favor the champion. They have an 80% chance of losing the title. It looks like it's going to be Randy Orton and the 175-pound Rey Mysterio that start things off. Kofi's unorthodox offense has racked up quite a record here in the WWE since debuting in early 2008. It looks like it's going to be John Cena and the 485-pound Big Show that start things off. A big size difference here as Rey Mysterio stares up into the eyes of The Undertaker.
I'll tell you, when you face Big Show, you have to work on those legs. I don't know of any other way to beat this giant.
Here we go. The rules are about as straightforward as they come. If you can put your opponent through a table, you win.
We wanted to take this time to thank you for making Smackdown a part of your Friday night tradition. Thank you, everybody.
We all know what's at stake in the Royal Rumble. A chance to headline WrestleMania in a place in the history books. It'll be the two third-generation superstars squaring off first, David Hart Smith and Ted DiBiase. So this should be exciting as the two Canadians, the young Tyson Kidd and the veteran Chris Jericho, begin things. And the Royal Rumble is underway. You got to throw your opponent over the top rope, and both feet have to touch the ground. And the Big Show's stunned, and quite frankly, so am I. The world's largest athlete is in big trouble. My God, that table, that body, they're both in a million pieces. What a tremendous miscalculation. Here we go with the tradition known as the Bash. And we'd like to welcome all of you watching us from home. This no disqualification match has been a war. None of these superstars are likely to forget what happened here tonight. It'll be Chris Jericho having to figure out an answer first on how to stop the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. Very likable young man is Kofi Kingston.
He is. This young man always has a smile on his face.
This is about as brutal as it gets, folks. This is a superstar who will stop at nothing to destroy his opponent. So first, it'll be the quickness of Tyson Kidd competing against the power game of that man, Mark Henry. Toe-to-toe, fist-to-fist, the heart and passion of these superstars on display as they battle on the ladder. This one's going to be a triple threat TLC match, and the TLC matches are brutal. They're intense, and they're known as career killers.
In this type of match, you have to realize where you are at all times. But more importantly, you have to realize where the tables are.
You are watching Friday Night Smackdown, WWE's network television staple for over 10 years. Edge's mind so calculating, at times deranged, but always dangerous.
Boy, you have to be in the absolute best condition of your life to compete in one of these grueling Iron Man matches.
Christian, 6 feet 2 inches tall, has speed and experience and will utilize them both throughout the match. We're off, and this tag team match is so volatile, it could explode into an all-out riot. This is a career-threatening pay-per-view. This is the revolutionary TLC event. Tremendous impact on the barricade at ringside.
He was hoisted and turned inside out on that restraining wall.
The door is locked shut. Now these two teams must wage war inside the landscape of the steel cage. MVP, the legendary Undertaker. Both men ready to get this one going for their teams. Batista has an almost demonic gaze. There are rage-filled eyes in the animal. And the fight is on. Don't expect anything scientific in this one. It's just going to be an out-and-out fight. The flames are lit, and the competitors are as mentally prepared as they're going to be for this inferno match.
Now, putting your opponent through a table doesn't have to happen in the ring, right? It can happen at ringside or even up the ramp.
A Rated RK reunion here. This time, though, Edge and Orton are on opposite sides of the ring.
Oh my, I think it's safe to say that is just about the last move any superstar wants to get hit by.
This is it, ladies and gentlemen, the one we've been waiting for. What will happen in this, our main event?
And this one's got all the markings of an incredible match as these three competitors set out to put somebody through a table.
Terry Funk is so crazy, he probably spends his days trying to grow barbed wire out there on the Double Cross Ranch.
And ladies and gentlemen, you had to wonder. You had to wonder when this explosion of emotion was going to come. So it'll be the second-generation superstar Cody Rhodes starting out against the third-generation superstar David Hart Smith.
Few matches are as deadly as the TLC match, but with these two teams in the mix, I think we just up the risk. Here we go in this four-person elimination matchup, and this match will continue until one team is completely eliminated. The only way to up the ante in a TLC match is to make it a fatal four-way, and these competitors are ready to go.
The man who likes to tell the WWE Universe to just say no may be saying yes to a huge win tonight.
This match will have a lot of big moves. One question will be, who will capitalize on those moves the best? Remember, the United States Championship has been held by no fewer than a dozen WWE Hall of Famers.
Ted DiBiase is confident and brash, to say the least. But the unfortunate truth is he can back it all up in the ring. It's ghastly, grotesque, and I wouldn't be surprised if either man were unable to walk out of here on their own merit. This match is being televised around the world in 18 languages in over 110 countries. In this match, the odds are severely against the champion. He has an 80% chance of losing his title here tonight.
You know, this young man, Zack Ryder, is in phenomenal condition. It looks like he hasn't had carbs since 2006.
Oh my gosh, he's attacking his friend. What's gotten into him?
I don't know. I'm in shock. What's unique about Roberts is he won't beat you with strength or speed. It's his diabolical mind you have to look out for.
And we're off as these two teams attempt to destroy each other in this anything-goes table match. Here we go. And even though it's every man for himself in a triple threat match, you have to be prepared to face a double team assault.
The momentum, the entire WWE Universe, all those things are fueling Rob Van Dam once more. So it'll be Christian starting things off against the nearly 500-pound world's largest athlete, The Big Show. Goldust, one of the most bizarre superstars in the WWE. He's won a lot of matches playing mind games.
This match can only be stopped by the referee or an EMT. It stops when one man draws first blood on his opponent. Look at this! The sheer brutality! Driving his opponent face first into those ring steps.
CM Punk likes to claim that he is the world's role model. He says that he can lead you to the promised land, too.
And this triple threat TLC match has started. It's hard to predict what we're going to see here, but we're going to try our best to call it. There's the bell, and it's now paramount for these competitors to avoid the lumberjacks that lurk at ringside.
Here we go. One fall to a finish. Pinfall, submission, and disqualifications are all in play.
It doesn't get any bigger than this. It doesn't get any better than this. It's the Money in the Bank ladder match.
And are you ready for this? The Undertaker and the Animal will be slugging it out first. So it'll be the veteran Shawn Michaels facing the son of the legendary $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
A lot of guts and resilience shown here by Batista. I just can't believe he's had it taken to him like this tonight.
Again, this one will crown the king of the ring. It doesn't get much bigger than this. Here we go. And the question is, which one of these three competitors will be the most extreme? Good evening and welcome to Night of Champions. I hope you're ready because I know I am. This superstar believes destiny wants him to achieve greatness. Only time will tell if that's true. What a skill set Tyson Kidd has. Great strikes, technically sound, and an extremely dangerous high flyer. Caution is not an attribute any of these competitors can afford in this match.
Well, none have shown it.
And the referee's going to be watching both competitors closely. By the time this one's over, one of these competitors will need stitches. When you think of how many years Finley has been in this business, it's amazing that he can still compete at the level he does.
Without question, there's no doubt about how prestigious the Intercontinental Championship is here in the WWE. And if you missed last month's WrestleMania, it was a classic. Do yourself a favor and order the replay. We saw this earlier tonight, just ripping and tearing the flesh from the face across this steel structure.
Wow, and are you ready for this one? A steel cage triple threat match. This one's going to be as intense as they come. And you can only imagine the kind of damage that steel turnbuckle must be inflicting with each smash.
He's the most controversial superstar in WWE history. There is only one John Cena.
I know Jericho says he needs to save all these people. I don't know about that, but I do know right now he needs to save himself.
Monday Night Raw, WWE's flagship show, a program that helped put WWE on the map.
So we're now underway in this handicap match. It's 2 versus 3 with tag team rules in effect.
Batista, a multi-time world champion, a Royal Rumble winner, and arguably the most feared man in the WWE. This is an Extreme Rules Fatal 4-Way match where these competitors will need to do whatever it takes to win.
I love Los Conquistadors. They've come out of absolutely nowhere to make a huge mark in the WWE.
Amazing kicks out. And look at that expression of pure disbelief on the face of his opponent. These competitors will start it off for their respective trios in this 6-man single fall tag team match. There's the bell, and this tag team matchup should be bombastic as these 4 attempt to put somebody through a table.
Oh boy, nothing takes the fight out of you quicker than having your face ground into the steel cage.
WrestleMania is seen in 68 countries worldwide and heard in 15 different languages.
Batista bomb! My God, I think he might have knocked his opponent out cold with that one.
And the streak is over. The streak has come to an end. Unbelievable.
So much on the line in this one. And like they say, on any given night, anything can happen in the WWE.
Look at the effect this match has had on Cody Rhodes. The cockiness and swagger have all but fled his body. It sickens me to say it, but we very well could be looking at the future of the industry in Ted DiBiase. There's not too much to say in this one. 3 competitors have entered the cage, but only one can come away with the win. Thank you once again for joining us at November's longest-running sports entertainment event, the Survivor Series. You can see the toll this match has taken on Matt Hardy, but Matt will battle back with everything he's got.
Miz, the 230-pounder from Cleveland, Ohio, possesses an incredibly aggressive and confident mindset.
He's not going to win any sportsmanship awards for that, but he inflicted some serious damage against his opponents right there.
These men have had each other's backs time and time again, but now they're putting that past aside.
Van Dam likes a quick pace, likes to use not only his feet, but also his entire body as a weapon.
You'll see superstars use strategies like hooking the ropes, hooking the turnbuckle, anything to stay off the floor. You watch Triple H. He doesn't waste any energy needlessly. Everything he does brings him closer to a win.
And there seems to be a sinister grin on the face of Jericho as he realizes he's in complete control. Again, there's a hold harmless agreement in place. These superstars aren't liable, no matter what happens. And with Mike Knox in control once more, an eerie, unsettling feeling returns to the arena. Again, this match is to determine the number 1 contender for the championship at WrestleMania. And there's the bell. 2 competitors start. The others will join at fixed intervals, and the winner is the last man standing. Again, don't expect a technically sound competition here. This match will very much be akin to a barroom brawl. It is electric here tonight. You can definitely tell that we are on the road to WrestleMania.
This one's about heart and determination, the will to win and leave here tonight as the Intercontinental Champion.
I don't expect us to see a lot of grappling here with these brawlers in the ring. This one will likely be a slugfest.
For years we have seen Undertaker destroy the competition, but we've never seen it taken to Undertaker like this. What's scary about Archer is his goal's simple. He wants to make something bad happen to whoever he faces.
Once again, this is for the most coveted title in WWE history, the WWE Championship. It's well documented that Randy Orton has no absence of malice, and that will come into play in this match.
Here we go. And before this match is over, I have no doubt that the Hell in a Cell will claim at least one more victim.
The bell is sounded, and the only way it will ring again is when one of these 4 competitors beats another by pinfall or submission. The wait's over. It's time for our 6-man tag team match, and the first team to score the pinfall or submission leaves the winner.
The bond between these superstars is well documented, but will that bond hold under the stress of this match?
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got a feeling this one's going to blow the roof off this place. What an incredible tag team match this is going to be.
It's been nothing short of a party here at the Bash, but these competitors are having anything but a good time. Edge has won nearly 50 championships in his career. That's a tremendous feat when you think about it.
This superstar has been incredibly successful the last several weeks. Will that trend continue tonight?
Chris Jericho is going to have his hands full here as he starts off against a very motivated MVP.
I'll tell you right now, Michael, if I were a superhero, there's only one power I'd want. X-ray vision.
Once again, you are watching WWE on Network TV. This is Friday Night Smackdown. The cell seems to haunt the arena. Everything about this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view is terrifying.
Think of the environment these competitors are in. The mental and physical pressure has to be exhausting.
And if you're just joining us, this is the one night a year that every match gets taken to the extreme. This one's one-on-one. Pinfalls, submissions, disqualifications, and countouts are in effect. Oh, skull off the steel. How many shots can you take before you have nothing left?
In the past, Gallows has proven to be a master of mayhem, a ruthless soldier for CM Punk.
Tyson Kidd has absorbed a tremendous amount of punishment. The question is, how much is left? This match can't continue like this for Zack Ryder. Ryder has to figure out a way to create some offense.
So we're going to get right to it. Randy Orton and Ted DiBiase in action first.
Back into the steel mesh, the forehead, once more, viciously mashed against the cage. We all know what Mike Knox is capable of, and now that monstrous ability is on display.
Those X's on CM Punk's wrists are the universal sign of the straight-edged lifestyle that Punk embodies.
And this one-fall triple threat match is underway. The first competitor scored by pinfall or submission is declared the winner. More evil intentions being shown as he continues to customize our broadcast position. Well, it's bad enough to be in this demonic device, but with everyone fighting at once, it's almost like being in a prison riot. And this one could be sick. This could be absolutely violent as these three competitors go to war.
A sickening impact as flesh and bone meets that unforgiving security barrier.
Here we go in this elimination tag match. In order to win, you must defeat not one, but both of your opponents by pinfall or submission.
Kane, with all that strength, all that power, has got to be intimidating. Painfully intimidating.
Now, we've heard the war of words and the promises made. Who will fulfill those promises and come out ahead? What a way to close out the year with WWE and Armageddon. Once again, thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, the power of the punch! Hey ref, I thought closed fists were supposed to be illegal.
So it'll be the Animal, Batista, and the Viper, Randy Orton, crossing paths once more.
How lucky are we, Michael? Here we are, WWE main event, and we've got the best seats in the house.
So here we go with this one-on-one match. You can win by pinfall, submission, or scoring or disqualification. How do you look at Big Show and not show some type of fear?
Oh yeah, that face could scare Chrome off a bumper.
Shawn Michaels is dug down deep. He's dug down like he has so many times over his career. And in a Hell in a Cell match, you can toss that wrestling book right out the window. It's about pure brutality.
Let me remind everybody, there are no countouts. These competitors can stay out here as long as they like. The WWE has a lot of young guns running around, but Shelton has everything it takes to separate himself from that crowd.
Just think about what it would mean to these competitors to win here tonight on the grandest stage of them all. And Big Show has so much strength, it's almost impossible for anybody to hold him down for a 3 count.
This match is all about determining which show is the most dominant, which show controls the WWE. You know, there's just so much at stake for these teams in this match. A win in this one is absolutely huge. You know, from time to time, we'll see some teamwork in this match, but only one person can leave with the briefcase.
Again, pinfalls and submissions are not the object. You win by lacerating your opponent.
As we've stated before, Snuka is a WWE Hall of Famer, a title he's held since 1996.
He's got him hanging off of the apron, and he's grinding his forearm right into the facial features of his opponent.
Michelle McCool, perhaps the best pure athlete in all the WWE from the Divas perspective.
Here we go, and in this TLC matchup, it's going to put these two teams' toughness and resilience to test. The heart of Mysterio is without limits. He's bruised and battered, but he's still fighting.
Man, Snuka's always so exciting to watch. This guy really gave birth to the whole high-flying style.
Oh my, what a choke slam. What a spine-shattering choke slam by Kane. This is it. These two superstars will test each other's will to determine who the best competitor is here tonight. And we've got a table set for two. The only question, which one of these superstars is going through it? I don't think either of us is surprised that Beth Phoenix here has dominated the early moments of this match. And here we go with our Elimination Tornado Tag Match. All four competitors are in the ring, and all four are legal.
How long can they keep this up? How long can they keep up this pace in an Iron Man match?
I can't believe I'm saying this, but it might be too late now for the Glamazon. She's been absolutely dominated.
John Cena has said the WWE is his life, his passion. It's all that he has. John Morrison, very young in his career, has already held numerous titles both in tag team and singles competition. Edge has made a career out of being very opportunistic. He knows how to capitalize on any mistake.
These superstars battling it out for the opportunity to rip down that briefcase and get a championship opportunity.
No disqualification match. Again, these men can do anything they want to each other.
From behind, and they're eliminated. Wait, no, somehow, some way he held on.
Thank you once again for being a part of this amazing July event, the Great American Bash.
Would you look at that? I can't believe he just rammed that pole between his opponent's legs like that.
Here we go in what should be an incredible tag team matchup between these four incredible superstars. Jericho's got the legs, and now fighting to turn him again. And there it is, back into the walls of Jericho. The human anatomy will be tested to the limits time and time again tonight at breaking point.
CM Punk set to start things out against the uncaged power of the animal, Batista.
He's back on his feet, but you can see the abuse from this grueling match has definitely taken its toll.
Man, this Dolph Ziggler's not a guy I want to go on a long car trip with. Say from here to the ring entrance.
The range of emotions here is startling. There's almost an unknowing of what to expect. You have to like the passion behind this match. So much respect is shared between these combatants.